Hmm. Let me tell you about this man, okay? For anonymity's sake, let's call him Mohammed. I'm 45. In my 20s, nearly 25 years ago, I was like a typical young man who was lost, long haired. You'll not believe, the clothes I used to wear, thinking that was professional. Green and neon yellow checked shirt, bright red tie, cufflinks, navy blue trousers, white socks, brown shoes. My hair was gelled back like this. Earrings, and big silver glasses, which used to glow like shine. My CV was like 3 pages long. 3 pages with no experience. Okay. So to this date, I don't know what I put in that CV. Okay. So I was going around and giving my CVs for a job. I was getting rejected almost everywhere. Those days there was no security system or anything. You could go in a building and go right at the top, and from top all the way down to every office give you a CV. So I have to take a whole bunch of 100 CVs and do that. But sadly, no response. So I mean, when I think about it today, I might as well dressed up as Doink the Clown and wonder why nobody was giving me a job. Okay, so nobody was there to tell me how to dress, how to behave, how to whatever. So I was to go around giving people my CVs, and end of the day, tired. I didn't have money for a taxi, and those days there were no bus. Okay, you had to take sharing cabs, and sharing taxis were in specific locations. So if you got down in one location, you'll have to go walking to another location. And there, if you book a taxi all by yourself, you have to pay a higher charge. If you take sharing, you have to pay much more less. It divided by 4 or 5 times. So I remember those days it was 2 dirhams or 3 dirhams for sharing. So I finished another round of CVs, and I was walking, tired. I wanted to buy something to drink. So I went to the shop, saw what I wanted, and I bought it. And when I walked out, only then I realized, oh fuck, I have less money now. I'd already spent, I don't know how I miscalculated, less money. I was like, oh fuck, now what will I do? And I had to, go all the way back to Sharjah, which was like maybe 20 kilometers away or something. So I was like, sheesh, okay, I'll try to take a lift or something. So I was walking, and then I passed by Karama. In Dubai, the problem is the heat. You can't walk too much, you get drenched in sweat. So as I was walking in the heat of the afternoon, then I saw this row of shops. They are selling trading items, or there was one shop. So I thought maybe I'll go inside to cool down because the AC. So there was a mobile shop. Those days there was only, you could buy and sell second-hand phones and repair and wires and earphones and all that. Okay, so I saw the shop and I just went in. I went in because it was hot outside and I was sweating, but I didn't want him to know that I came in for the AC. So I came in, and he was standing there. It was a small shop. It was like from here to there. Just think like maybe 8 people can be in that shop. It was not a very big shop. Just had one AC, and it was really cooling. Oof. I went there, I felt cool. So when I went in, this guy, Malayali guy, with a mustache. Hello, sir. Yes. Even though I was young, he called me sir. I said, no, I'm just looking. I didn't want to tell him that I came in for the AC. So he stood there, he looked at me, and I'm like trying to look sophisticated, looking. Then I asked, how much for this, how much for this? He said, yeah, this is so-and-so, so-and-so. The prices were there, but I still asked him how much. Okay. Finally, I think he kind of figured out that I was coming there for the AC. He said, sit down. Don't need to stand, sit down. I said, no, it's okay. No, sit down. Just sit a few minutes. I said, okay. So he sat, he had one Windows PC. He was typing something, and then he said, you take one tea. I said, no, it's okay. He said, just take one tea. I'm ordering one tea for myself from a shop here. Just take one tea and take one sandwich. I said, no, just tea. No, just take. It's okay. I don't know. Maybe he could figure out I was hungry or whatever. He ordered tea and one parota. It's like a roti, Indian roti for those who don't know. Slightly oily and with the egg. Okay. So he ordered one parota egg sandwich for me and one tea, and he ordered one tea for himself. I was hoping that he wouldn't ask me for money, and he ordered. So I drank the tea, and so he didn't say anything. Customers are coming, and I stood up. He said, no, sit down, and he continued his thing. I finished the egg and this thing, and then by the time the customer was gone, he said, you want anything else? I said, no, it's okay. So then I was like, sheesh, I have to, what will I do? I want to go back. And it was getting, I knew that it'll be harder for me to get transport. So I just asked him, can you give me 2-3 dirhams? 2 or 3, He said, he looked at me, and then he didn't say anything. He didn't even ask me why. He gave me 5 dirhams, 5 dirham note. And I said, I'll give it to you later. Yeah, it's okay. I said, you can take my phone number. No, it's okay. You give when you come next time. I said, at least take my phone number. I said, maybe I'll take and run away. No problem. He said, it's okay. So I took the 5 dirham and I went, reached home. Not the next day, after I think a day or two, again when I went to Dubai, for putting my CVs and all, I passed by his shop. When I passed by his shop, he was there again. This time I made sure I paid him. He was like, no, it's okay. But I said, please sir, just take it. Okay, sit. And he ordered again an egg sandwich and tea for me. So we continued this for some time. We continued for some time. I used to always pass by, and he was a good man. Now, like they say, life goes on and you move on, and so I was not in touch with him anymore. And I think it was I think 11 years later, I was driving a 4-wheel drive. Actually, it was my boss's. He used to give me that sometimes. So I was driving that. I was a manager. I had my own car, but he used to give me. So as I was driving in Dubai, it's a busy street and all that, and I had to go for a meeting. I stopped there, went for the meeting. When I came down, I saw, there's a, I think, what was that? I can't get the hotel's name. Okay, there was this bus stand near this hotel. A lot of people were there. So as I was coming down, lo and behold, I saw this face, and I was like, I know this man. And then I recognized he was the same guy. Okay. Now mind you, by this time I'd lost all my hair. I had a Frenchie and all that. Okay. So I saw, and I said, hey, how are you? And he just looked at me. He was holding a folder, and He couldn't recognize. Yes. He said, remember me? He was looking. And finally he said, oh, you. He got a shock of his life because I told him I'm Loy. And so since I saw him standing in the bus, I said, come, I'll drop you somewhere. He said, no, it's okay. I said, come, I'll just drop you. So as I took him, I stopped by, a place where he wanted to be dropped. And since I stopped the car, I had parked the car. I said, there's a restaurant, let's just go have something. He said, okay. We got down. He just said, have a tea. Even though he was in a little bit of hurry, I said, let's just have tea. And so as he sat down, I asked him, how is his shop and all that. And to my surprise, he told me that his shop was no more. Apparently what had happened was his partner cheated him of everything, and then he had taken loans, then he spent on his credit card, and everything went down the drain. And eventually, he had to sell off his business, and now he was in debt, and he was searching for a job. As soon as I found that out, I was in a better position to help him. So I told him, give me your CV. And those days, even though I was not so good at personal branding, I redid his CV, was in touch with him, pushed his CV around, finally managed to get him to join another place. And and I helped him in whatever way I could. Eventually, one fine day, he called me and told me that he's leaving UAE because he's finished off his loans, but he doesn't see any point of being in UAE anymore. So I was like, okay, fine. So he left, and that was it. Again, we didn't keep in touch. Today I got a message from one of the common friends who kind of knew us maybe. He told me that this guy is no more. And how they managed to track me is my photograph was with him, and on Facebook and all that. So I was like, okay. It came as a shock, and I just thought about it, Now the thing is, obviously I didn't know his family, and the thing is, you never forget these moments, You never forget these moments where someone did something to you. Where maybe someone gave you a cup of tea, or a sandwich, or a kind word. In his case, he didn't do anything out of the way other than allow me to stand in his shop. It was hot. He was able to understand that I was hungry and thirsty, and he gave me something to eat and drink. Nothing extraordinary. Just that kindness was enough, And yes, I still remember that he gave me $5, which I returned. But he gave it out of trust, He never wanted it back. I know this is not an extraordinary story, but his kindness touched me, It gave me hope when there was no hope. It's just sad that, some good human beings like this, we lose them. He may not have been a successful businessman, he may not have been an entrepreneur or whatever, but he was a nice man, he was a kind man. Anyway, I just want to conclude by saying, if ever he was watching, I would say, thank you. Thank you for, giving me that little bit of love and respect and dignity. You could have treated me like shit, you know. Throw me out of your shop, and you didn't. Let me sit, and you gave me a sandwich and tea, and even though you knew that I was useless. Thank you. Anyway. All right, you guys take care.